Happy Thursday. I'm so glad you came. This is day 4 of the 7-day fast. This is like a halfway point. You are doing well. I want to tell you that you're making spiritual progress. When you begin to pray and fast like you are doing, please take note that you get the attention of the kingdom of darkness. See, the moment that you begin to make spiritual progress, it provokes demonic coordination. Yes, literally, I'm telling you that there are principalities and rulers and different spirits that all get together in a coordinating attempt to stop what you are doing. See, Satan does not mind ruins. He does not mind an atmosphere of strife and confusion and bitterness. He does not mind that, but the moment that you begin to put together and actually repair breaches, the moment that you begin to talk about restoration, all hell reacts to that. Hell puts some things together and send your way. Hence why the focus of today's teaching is watch out for the coalition. And when I use that word coalition, I'm talking about the kingdom of darkness coordinated attempt to come together to stop what you are doing. This is why Paul says in Ephesians 6, we wrestle. I'm emphasizing that. I'm emphasizing we wrestle. See, that speaks to corporate prayer, corporate fasting, a collective group, not an individual. There's only so much you can do as an individual, but you have to understand there is a coalition, and there's not one person fighting you. There are many spirits that will come to attack the efforts that you are making in restoration, building, and repairing the breaches. You don't stop. So I want to go back to the book of Nehemiah. That's where we have been the last couple of days. I want to refocus our attention on Nehemiah, the 4th chapter. I need to introduce you to this coalition. It is 5 entities, 5 different groups that come together to form this coalition in Nehemiah, the 4th chapter. Let's draw your attention to verse 7 and verse 8. Here's what it says. It says, now it happened when Sanballat, Tobiah, the Arabs, the Ammonites, and the Ashdodites, that is 5, heard that the walls of Jerusalem were being restored, and listen to this, the gaps were beginning to be closed. That's called progress. The gaps were beginning to be closed. That's what you're on. You have been making progress. The gaps are beginning to close. The Bible says that these 5 groups, these 5 entities, they became angry. And what did they do? The Bible says all of them, not one, all of them conspired together to come and attack Jerusalem and to do what? Create a confusion. God is not the author of confusion, but guess who is? Satan. Guess why it comes? To stop, to hinder, to destroy. He does not want you to continue doing what you're doing. That's why all of a sudden all your coworkers brought food. That's why now all of a sudden everybody inviting you to lunch. He does not want you to do what you are doing. So these 5 groups came together. Such will be the case for your life. When you start repairing breaches, expect coordinated resistance. These 5 powers that came together, they represent territorial spirits. If I had time, I would tell you what each one of them represents. For example, Sanballat, I told you this before, he represents mockery. Tobiah, he represents sabotage. I went there for. Let me tell you what the rest of them represents. The Arabs represent distraction. The Ammonites, they represent legalism. The Ashdodites, they represent cultural infiltration. The reason I hesitated in telling you that is because it makes me want more time to teach and to tell you why that's the case. I'll just invite you to come to a Bible study later. Meanwhile, I just wanted you to know these are territorial spirits. These powers, they don't just attack, they come together, they conspire to confuse. So, what needs to happen? Why am I telling you that? Because I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that. I don't want you, see, too many times, the moment that hindrance comes, the moment that it feels too tough, that's when we stop. Don't stop. That's why the Bible says, be not weary in well doing. You will reap. I told you that. Maybe on day one or day two, I told you that. We're on day four, and I'm still saying it because I want to encourage you. This is how we fight our battles. Do you know that when you in the world, nobody needed to motivate you like I'm doing for you to cuss somebody out, for you to be on the phone all day talking about what they did? So you used to fight. I'm just trying to teach you how to fight spiritually. The Bible says this is spiritual warfare. So as soon as it's spiritual warfare, you will have to know the way of prayer. Prayer does not mean that you are not active. Prayer always means that you are doing something, but I'm letting you know that this is spiritual. So what did Nehemiah do? We begin to see Nehemiah's response, and it's actually in verse 9. Verse 9 tells us Nehemiah's response. Here's what he says. He says, nevertheless, we made our prayer to God and set a watch against them day and night. Oh, Nehemiah. I told you this book of Nehemiah is it's a blueprint. It's a bulletin. It is a manual in spiritual warfare. He said, we set watches against them day and night. This is both literally and spiritually. See, you may not know this, but we're teaching. That's why we're talking about priesthood. There's a such thing as setting a chain of people together to keep a constant watch of prayer. You do one prayer watch, I do the next, and we're constantly praying because that's how we fight our battles. So Nehemiah discerned the fact that he knew that we made a prayer to God against them. Notice against, that word against is a fight. You knew that. It is a fight. Only ain't nobody punching each other. This is spiritual. He goes to God in battle. So what I'm saying to you is you cannot fight what you don't discern. So that's why you need to be well equipped with spiritual intelligence. The Bible says those intercessors, they got together and they set up watches. Intercessors must discern when gaps are closing. And when you notice that you are making spiritual progress, you expect that the warfare is about to intensify. Anytime something intensifies, you have to make preparation for it. And so I'm telling you on day four, pay attention in your personal and corporate encounters. Begin to encourage each other the more because you will begin to see attacks. When you see an attack, it is first of all a sign that you're making progress and closing the gap. And second of all, it means that you are close to your breakthrough. I don't want to tell you that much because I'm trying to just scare you. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to warn you. I'm trying to encourage you because I can tell you that if you keep reading the chapter, you will find that Nehemiah wins. But we need to pay attention to what he did to win. First thing that I want to tell you that he did is he refused to be distracted. See, too many times we're fighting battles and not even realizing we're being distracted because you keep fussing and debating. Stop debating Satan's agenda. Satan is going to be Satan. So you're not surprised that he's doing what he's doing. You don't need to entertain his agenda. Instead, what you do and what you continue to do is you hold fast to building the wall. Don't come down. Don't come down. Don't come down. When the enemy tries to lure Nehemiah into meetings, he refused. What does he say? He says, I am doing a great work, so I cannot come down. When he invites you to debate him, he invites you to stay up all night arguing. You don't do that. Stop being on the phone talking about what he's doing. No, what you speak about lives. I want to fast forward in the chapter. I told you that Nehemiah completed his assignment. Nehemiah 6:15 tells us that he completed the wall in 52 days. I want you to know that is acceleration, that is speed. Speed is a sign of divine backing, but you have to pay attention to he's being backed by heaven because he stays in alignment. When God is with you, the enemy cannot delay you. Nehemiah finished fast because he stayed focused. And so I'm saying to you on day 4, stay focused. Hopefully I said some things to you. I know I told you real Nehemiah. Hopefully you got some new revelation. Go back and keep plugging in. Make this entrenched within you because this is your battle map. This is your battle strategy. In ministries, families, our nations, all those things you pray for. When breaches are being repaired, expect sudden relational conflicts, financial sabotage, emotional fatigue, confusion, distraction. This is not failure. What is it? I said again, it's confirmation that the wall is rising. Lastly, I want to tell you this. When you notice that you are making progress, don't just celebrate progress without setting watches. Paul says, I do not fight as one that beat the air. That means he was able to discern. When you discern what the enemy is doing, you react spiritually. Again, I have listed the prayer points. Our prayer points are maybe getting a little bit longer, but it's necessary. Why? Because the warfare is intensifying. Please check your email, go to the YouTube post section, and you will find the prayer points. Pray intentionally in the morning. This is corporate. I need your efforts. I'm not alone. Like if you don't stand your watch, I'm not as strong without you. Pray corporately. Do your prayer points in the morning. Do them in your afternoon prayer. Notice that we stop eating at 4. That's the only reason I'm giving you morning and afternoon. Please continue to pray in the evening, but pray. We are people of prayer. This is how we fight our battles. God bless you indeed. Until tomorrow, not next time, tomorrow, I'm coming right back. We will prevail. Blessings.